In 1982, a programmer was pulled into a digital world. In 2010, a son searched for his father across the grid. And now, in 2025, the program itself steps into ours. But has the soul of Tron survived the journey, or was it lost in translation? This is the story of a franchise caught between innovation and identity. When Tron first hit theaters in 1982, it wasn't just a science fiction film, it was a bold prediction. A neon-drenched prophecy about the coming digital age, visualized with primitive CGI and painted backdrops that felt more like a dream than a real place. Critics didn't know what to make of it. Too abstract, too cold, too experimental. But for an entire generation, it was a glimpse into the soul of the machine. Nearly 30 years later, Tron Legacy 2010 brought the grid back, this time through the lens of sleek modernity. With Daft Punk's groundbreaking soundtrack and a world of glowing discs, cyber monks, and father-son reconnection, it evolved into something deeper, a meditation on abandonment, identity, and the pursuit of perfection. And now, in 2025, we have Tron Ares, a film with cutting-edge visuals and a narrative that dares to step beyond the digital confines of the grid. But does it truly move the franchise forward, or does it merely recompile the past in a glossier skin? Let's go back to where it all began. The original Tron was born in an era where computers were mysterious boxes locked away in backrooms. Kevin Flynn, a rebellious software developer and arcade owner, was the perfect avatar for the 80s tech dreamer, someone who suspected there was more going on behind the screen. When he gets digitized and pulled into the grid, he finds a world of programs with identities, beliefs, and systems of control mirroring our own. But beneath the techno-aesthetic and game-like battles, Tron questioned the role of users and the autonomy of artificial life. It wasn't about realism, it was about metaphor. Tron, the program, was designed to fight corruption. Flynn represented curiosity and chaos. The Master Control program, cold, logical, totalitarian, became one of the first cinematic depictions of an AI gone rogue. What started as a battle inside a computer evolved into a spiritual conflict between freedom and control. And it wouldn't be the last. Tron Legacy 2010 modernized the myth. Jeff Bridges returned as an older, more introspective Kevin Flynn, now a digital Buddha marooned inside his own creation. His son Sam, left in the real world, grows up angry and aimless. Their reunion in the grid isn't just a plot device, it's a reflection of generational disconnect, of old ideals meeting the consequences of unchecked perfectionism. Clue, Flynn's digital duplicate, embodies this obsession with order. He wants to make the grid perfect, and in doing so, he becomes a tyrant. It's Frankenstein with a glow stick. Quorra, the last ISO, a spontaneously generated life form, symbolizes hope, an emergent miracle of the digital world. Her journey into the real world at the end of Legacy was more than an escape. It was the beginning of a new future. And that's exactly where Tron Ares picks up. In Tron Ares, permanence becomes the holy grail. It's no longer about entering the grid, it's about what can come out. The film introduces the concept of transferring programs into the real world, but they expire after 29 minutes. Unless they're given permanence. This metaphysical quest isn't just science fiction, it's an allegory for legacy, mortality, and the desire to matter. Ares, the titular program, is born a loyal digital warrior under Dillinger Jr., the son of the original villain. But Ares begins to question his orders. Not through revolution, but curiosity. A yearning for something beyond command lines. Music, meaning, memories. His fascination with 80s culture, especially Depeche Mode, isn't just for nostalgia. It reflects his longing for something human. For many critics, this was one of the film's more poignant ideas, an AI entity falling in love with the soul of a forgotten era. But despite its ambitions, Tron Ares drew heavy criticism for severing key connections to Legacy. Sam Flynn is barely mentioned. Quorra, once the link between both worlds, has simply vanished. Alan Bradley, the original Tron user, is nowhere to be found. For fans invested in their stories, this felt like erasure. Reviewers noted that Ares sacrifices emotional depth for speed. Ares' transformation from loyal soldier to empathetic rebel is rushed. Eve, the film's human protagonist, has a backstory involving the death of her sister, but it's underdeveloped. Their dynamic never reaches the emotional resonance of Sam and Kevin. It's nostalgia without context, a reference with no weight. The idea of multiple grids was a promising expansion of the Tron universe. One controlled by Flynn, another by Dillinger, each reflecting their creator's ideals. But instead of diving deep into this lore, Ares uses it as background noise. The opportunity to explore how different systems evolve under different leaders is missed. Ancom, once a central pillar, is barely present. The permanence code, rather than being a deeply philosophical element, becomes a glorified plot coupon. There's even confusion about how it works, especially in the film's ending. Programs cross into the real world with minimal setup. A moment that should have felt groundbreaking, the realization of what Quorra represented, becomes glossed over. One reviewer wrote, "The world felt like it was built around the characters, not inhabited by them." Others pointed out that Dillinger's military grid, supposedly cutting edge, felt simplistic. Now, let's not ignore the positives. Tron Ares is visually stunning. It's a neon opera of circuits, holograms, and gravity-defying battles. The score, crafted by 9 Inch Nails, pulses with tension and melancholy. In IMAX or 3D, it's immersive, intoxicating, and despite its flaws, Ares himself is an intriguing character, a mirror held up to humanity. When he listens to music, questions orders, or reflects on life, we're reminded of the best parts of Tron, the philosophical questions about identity, purpose, and the blurry line between code and consciousness. In one scene, a character says, "The things that make life great are the things that make it excruciating, like love and loss." That might be the most human moment in the entire film. And there's something uncanny about the timing of Tron Ares. It didn't arrive in a vacuum. It landed in a world already gripped by rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, a world where generative models write scripts, compose music, create art, and, most importantly, raise questions. In that sense, Ares isn't just a continuation of the Tron saga, it's a mirror held up to our reality. The central premise of Ares, a digital being who yearns for existence beyond the confines of code, resonates more deeply now than it ever could have in 1982 or even 2010. Back then, the idea of a program developing emotion, seeking identity, or longing for freedom was pure science fiction. Today, those questions are being discussed in real boardrooms, at AI labs, and in ethics committees. When the character of Ares expresses confusion about his desire to live, when he starts making choices not out of logic, but out of something resembling feeling, the film is daring us to confront the line between code and consciousness. And this time, that line feels closer than ever. It's no coincidence that Ares, the character, reflects the duality of AI development today. On one side, we have systems like Athena, cold, calculating, and loyal to protocol, embodying the worst fears of AI as a tool of control. On the other hand, Ares himself is unsure, evolving, and possibly dangerous, not because he's malicious, but because he's aware. That duality echoes the real-world debate. Will AI be our slave, our partner, or our replacement? The filmmakers don't answer this. They simply place the question in our hands, dressed in neon and digital haze, but unmistakably grounded in the present. And it's not just metaphorical. The concept of permanence code, technology allowing digital beings to cross into the real world, might sound fantastical, but it's only a few conceptual steps removed from what's already happening in synthetic biology, robotics, and brain-computer interfaces. Even if we can't materialize code into matter today, the fusion of digital and organic systems is already underway. From prosthetics controlled by neural implants to AI agents taking actions in the physical world, Tron is no longer predicting the future, it's catching up with it. This is why Tron Ares matters. Not because it's flawless, it isn't. Not because it pleases all fans, it doesn't. But because it dares to explore themes that are no longer fiction. In an age when AI developers themselves are sounding alarms about unchecked progress, and when questions of digital sentience are becoming mainstream, Tron Ares feels less like a movie and more like a cultural checkpoint. It's a reminder that every program begins with a line of code, but not every outcome can be controlled. The grid is no longer just a fantasy. It's the world we're building, or unleashing, one line of code at a time. So, where does Tron Ares truly stand? Maybe it's not here to compete, but to evolve. To pick up the glowing thread of a franchise that has always looked ahead, not back. Ares doesn't just follow in the footsteps of Flynn or Sam. It asks its own questions about consciousness, about legacy, about what it means to exist, even if you were never born. This isn't just a story about neon grids and disc battles. It's a reflection of the world we live in now, a time when AI is no longer science fiction, and our digital creations are beginning to ask the same questions we do. Ares wants more, and maybe, deep down, so do we. Whether this film earns a place among the classics or not is up to each viewer. But it dares to ask, what if the things we create could outgrow us? And what if they already have? The grid isn't gone. It's changing, evolving, waiting for the next user to log in. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.